We're glad to have you back. Global stock markets are continuing to tumble Tuesday morning after President Donald Trump kick-started tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China overnight. U.S. stock fell sharply after Trump announced Monday that there was no room left for negotiations that could lower the tariffs. The S&P 500 dropped 1.8%, Dow Jones average fell 1.5%, the Nasdaq Composite slumped 2.6%. European stock markets retreated at the open Tuesday with the possibility that similar levies could hit Europe. London FTSE 100 index shed 0.6%. The Paris CAC 40 index shed 1.0%, and Frankfurt DAX slid 1.4%. These are not figures looking pretty well. But let's talk to Mr. Gbenga Ogunrinola, who is an investment and financial advisor. He joins me live from the United Kingdom to continue this conversation. Mr. Ogunrinola, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining the show.
Good afternoon, Tolu. It's a pleasure to be here again today.
I'm sure you heard my introduction to this conversation. Global markets tumble. That's the headline. Yes, that's the big story everywhere. And that's as Trump tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China spark trade war fears. How does it come to you, and how are you taking this?
Yes, so it's not something that is unexpected. I think probably we might even be surprised that it's taken this long for it to start the way Trump actually started with things when he resumed office. We've seen a lot of issues globally happening, and this recent global tariffs is just part of the whole big thing that we are seeing in the year 2025. The last time I was here, I had said that the year 2025 is going to be full of a lot of uncertainties, and that's what we are seeing currently. We've seen the issue of Ukraine, the European Union, and what is happening currently. That's part of the whole big thing that we are seeing in the year 2025. Now, the issue of tariff is another one. We also have what is happening in the Middle East as another issue too. So it's all going to be something that the global economy will have to deal with in 2025. I recall also saying that investors should be wary of short-term investments this year. We need to know what is happening before we begin to invest massively into any economy. But what we are seeing, just like you had in the introduction, is that there will be a lot of alignments and realignments in the area, in the space of investments this year and going forward too. And we would see so many other things taking shape, which probably will give a new direction to global financing and global investments generally. But like I said, what we are seeing is not unexpected. Trump had said this while he was campaigning, and even after the election was won, he had started with some of these policies which he was going to implement. I mean, giving the world a feel of it. So we are not surprised at what is happening. It's just how do investors and how do the market react to all these things, and what should be the way forward.
And it looks like the market is taking serious bashing with regards to this. Today we can see all of them in red, bleeding. So obviously we saw that when we reported the market even earlier today. How do you see this affecting movement of goods and services across the globe?
Yes. So what is happening might likely trigger a global inflation. Which in the year 2024 we saw coming to at least a low level. A lot of businesses and countries were beginning to cut down on their interest rates, which they had increased to be able to curb the inflation and to come to the level of inflation. And in the year 2025, some had even started cutting off those interest rates again. But we might see an halt to that, because with what is happening, we are going to see an effect of another round of inflation globally. because aside from the tariffs that Trump is also wielding, there's been those countries that have been affected also saying they're going to have their own retaliatory tariffs. And at the end of the day, what we have is goods and services at a very high price, and consumers having to pay so much for these things. While the governments might be getting richer, you see the citizens itself, having to bear the brunt of these tariffs and the inflation that would spiral into effect. So it's going to affect generally goods and services. We might see increase in goods and services, and of course, nobody wants that. That could also lead to recession, and it's like going around the circle. The world was just kind of having a breath, ease of breath air, to the fact that probably we won't be having a recession, but it's looking like with all the tariffs being wielded, we might fall into a situation where there could be a global recession if nothing is done about it. But I want to believe that when the effect of these things starts showing, when the number starts coming, and governments begins to see what is happening, then they might need to have a rethink and come to a round table to discuss things again.
Even the digital currencies, the crypto market, everywhere, they're not spared. The bashing is everywhere. We saw that falling far below the 90,000 US dollars that it used to be. Honestly, despite the fact that, how does that also come to you, Mr. Ogunrinola?
Yes, the tariffs that are being wielded, as its effects generally on every stock. And so what we are witnessing is also investors being wary of what is happening, and people are beginning to, we don't know what is happening. Why don't we hold our funds and keep our money? And that's the effects. People are beginning to liquidate their investments and hold their funds so that they will be able to watch the cost. A lot of fund managers and high net worth investors too, are being very wary of what is happening. I remember saying that we're going to see a very huge volatility this year in the market. There will be very sharp reactions beyond what we've been experiencing in the past, because people are more savvy when it comes to investments now, and everybody is taking action almost at the same time. The information is at the fingertips of everybody now, so they will be able to take information, and people would rather, safeguard their investments than to lose their investment. So that's what we are seeing even in the crypto sectors, digital sectors too, where people are beginning to be mindful, and they'll rather cut their losses than to see it plunge into a very low ebb. So that's what we're seeing currently.
Where this trend was, that market where everybody focused on the digital currency and all of that. But we are seeing the flip-flop in that market this time. Well, move it. Okay, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yes. It's good for the market, really, because you don't have a situation where things will begin to go up forever. It's always an issue of people having to come in, come out. Where you have a market where the price just keeps going up, it does not provide room for investment and reinvestment. But with this kind of situations, it gives a better room for people to invest. When you see things coming down, like the thing that we must understand is that the digital currencies have come to stay globally, and because they've hello.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, please.
The digital currencies have come to stay globally. And since this is the case, then we know that the world will only embrace digital currency, and we'll begin to see it blossom and grow beyond what it is currently. So we should not, because of what is happening, begin to see digital currency as maybe an investment that is not worth the while. Like I said, the economy globally has come to accept digital currencies, and we can only see it grow beyond what it is now. But what is happening to it is the fact that there's a general economic issue going on around the world, and that is also affecting it. I mean, there's no form of investment that is immune to geopolitical situations and geopolitical issues globally. Every currency, every commodity, and every form of assets will be affected.
I like that. No one is insulated. No currency is insulated. No form of stocks.
I mean, even the dollars is also bleeding.
That's my next question. That's my next question. The dollar, the greenback,
is bleeding.
That used to have that
I mean,
strength.
it's at the lowest in the last 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And that's why I said that, by the time we begin to see the effects of all these things, I mean, there is no country that can stand on its own the way we have it globally now. So even if you claim to be a superpower, you need friends. You cannot face the whole world yourself. So you cannot fight everybody. So you need people on your side, and that is what some of these economies will be forced to realize. What we're also going to see is more economies trying to be self-reliant. Like we've had economies depend on certain blocks for major and critical infrastructures like power, like energy. I mean, these are critical infrastructures. Now, with what is happening, you begin to look at it that there's nobody that you can over rely on. You need to have some certain backup, which is homegrown, and which would help you in case maybe the chips are down and you need to dig deeper. So people will begin to invest in those areas too now. So you see paucity of governments, even investments in foreign countries. They will begin to invest more in their infrastructures now to build a solid infrastructure. Unlike before, where we have blocks having to rely on maybe certain countries or certain blocks for their infrastructure support or supplies. So it's an interesting time globally where there will be a series of alignments and realignments. And I think what we need to do as African countries or as Nigerian is to make our economy to be attractive, because if things don't improve, you will discover that even some of the major destination of investments will be affected. People will be looking for alternative destination of investments. So those areas that had been the lucrative areas of investment, people out of reactions and sentiments, they'll begin to look at other areas. And if you make your own area, so I believe that the developing countries have that opportunity of really attracting investments to themselves now. Because they are not part of what is going on, and so they will be more attractive, for these major power players than them investing in each other's country. So it's an interesting period that we.
It's really an interesting period, and you as an investment person, I know there's a lot of work for you to do at this time. I'm thinking in like 1-2 minutes as we wrap up this segment, what are you telling those that intend to still have the, those hot money, the big bucks, those guys that still have the box that want to put their money somewhere? What should they be thinking of at this time? Some will take advantage of this time still,
Yes. I mean, when things are happening like this, that's when to really look into. I think the major thing is first look at the fundamental of any investments that you are making. I mean, do they have figures to support the price? That's the first thing to look at. If those things are still looking good, look at the future of those investments. Is it a sector that you find lucrative, where you see that it's the future, of global economy? Or is it just a sector that is dying, or, is a sector that is metamorphosing? So you need to look at that first. Another thing you need to consider in all this saga is that you must not be too greedy in your investments. Once you make some certain level of gains,
Profit,
I mean,
yeah.
probably you just take it and look at what is happening again. Another thing that you need to do is that you should be more focused on the medium and long term. That will save you a lot of headache and heartaches. If you focus on the medium, long term, it helps. But if it's a short term, the global economy is too slippery currently.
I sure would tell our viewers they must pay for this advice. Mr. Gbenga Ogunrinola is an investment and financial advisor. He joined us from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate your time on the show as always.
Thank you, Tolu. Have a good day too.
All right, then.